Some people don't want to be led. They want to lead. And if you want to lead, you got to go start your own thing. If you want to be led, you may eventually lead, but if you can't be led, you'll never really lead.
And you have to be able to lead underneath leadership. If you can't lead underneath leadership, then when you're the leader, people under your leadership won't be able to be led.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Toddcast. I'm your host, Todd Bishop, and here's what's so exciting. This is the first episode of 2026, and we're coming with a lot of new content. It's going to be fresh. It's going to be focused on raising your leadership to another level. So every month, you're not only going to get me, but once a month, you're going to get a guest. We're going to 2 episodes a month on the Toddcast in 2026. We're glad you guys are with us. A couple things I want you to do. Number one, I want you to hit subscribe right now. If this was shared with you and a friend of you gave you this content, subscribe. Make sure you share it with somebody else because sharing is caring. And then please comment below. Something good. You enjoy the content. You can always email me at todd@unleashednetwork.tv. And I'd love to correspond with you, get to know you, hear your heart, all that good stuff. And I promise you, if you share this on social media, I will reshare it. And I'll probably send you a nice message saying, thank you for sharing the Toddcast with the world. Well, this year, we have planned 24 incredible episodes with you. Every one of them is going to be focused on your development. So this is going to be the Toddcast Selfish style. It is designed to grow you, to grow your leadership, to grow your life, to grow your organization, to grow your church, and to grow your business. It's going to raise you up to a new level of leadership. Now, starting off this year, we're going to go right for the jugular. And here's the subject of today. But before I give it to you, I got to introduce my special guest who's with us on this episode. He's a repeat attender, not offender. He's on the Toddcast for the second time. He is the master of disaster, witty as a warlock. I don't know where that came from. Please welcome Matt Bellomo.
I'll take that, Pastor. I'll take it.
I didn't know where I was running to.
Hopefully not too much disaster.
Yeah,
hopefully
leave
just
the
trying
warlock out.
Yeah, warlocks and
that's
that.
kind of the problem with preachers, though, because you hear a W, you got to go with a W.
You need the alliteration. You need everything. It's got to kind of work. It's got to rhyme.
Everything's got to roll together.
But it's an honor to be here again. Very excited
Second
to be
time.
a repeat attender.
What did we talk about last time you were on? Do you remember?
We talked about the great subject of loyalty last time. If you did not catch that, you should go back, watch it, share it.
That was a
great
good
time to subscribe.
episode.
It was a good episode, actually.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I watch all these again.
Yep.
Because I want to see, okay, where can I do better? What can I do? And I know that everyone's subject for improvement.
Yeah.
Everybody get better.
Basically all areas.
I feel like I'm rocked back. You feel like you're sitting up.
Am I up?
I feel like I'm relaxed. You look a little tense.
I don't know how do you sit?
You're in the middle of renovations, overseeing that project.
There's things happening. We got, lobbies are expanding. Things are happening. So
yeah, lots of good stuff happening.
It's all in the brain right now, but we're going to Toddcast like we've never Toddcasted before, people. Don't you worry about it.
We're going to throw out the line, Toddcasters. Awesome. All right, so here's our subject for today.
Okay, yes. Tell the world.
Promised them we'd
tell them. The world is waiting because you teased it. And then we went to the intro. But I forgot
to introduce you.
And then I'm saying. So now
we can.
The ultimate tease. Here it is.
But when I called him witty as a warlock, I should have used a different word.
It's all good.
But this man is one of the wittiest guys. He can. How many times will I ask you, hey, how can I say this better? Actually, I ask you less now because I use ChatGPT.
That's true. I'm being replaced slowly by AI. No, I'm kidding.
I'd be ChatGPT. Can you finish a statement for me? I can't find something.
It's quick. AI can be a lot quicker.
It is. And it gives you like 50,000 options.
Yeah, it's very true.
I don't believe you should be using that for all your stuff.
Right. In the right areas.
Yeah. You use it as a tool.
Very effective.
Yeah. All right. So our subject today is simply this. If you're a leader, not everyone's going to like you. Now, this subject is one that everybody wants to be a leader.
Yep.
Everybody wants, I want to lead this. I want to start this business. I want to pastor this church.
Yep.
And then once you're there, the world changes. The people that loved you don't like you anymore.
Correct.
The people that thought they could control you realize they can't control you. They leave. They bail.
Yeah.
They run. Not everyone's going to like you. What's your first thought when you hear that statement?
This is something that took me a long time to deal with. And you know that because you know me for a long time. So I'm the kind of guy who I like being in the mix with people. I like being liked, all that kind of thing, right? So if there's an issue going, I got to figure it out. But I've learned that as you continue to lead and lead at higher levels and lead more people and lead different things and just start something new, whatever the case, there are going to be people close to you, not close to you, that just have differing opinions. Yeah. And sometimes people put opinion above relationship or above track record or above all these other different things. And then the opinion starts to then shape how they view you. And I just got to be all right with that. So it took me a while, but at the ripe young age of 40, I figured out a little bit more.
You are 40 now.
40. Does that make sense on the camera? I hope so.
You're out of the wilderness now. You're about to walk into your promised land, bro.
You know what? I've received that calling. I received that declaration.
I know it's a leadership thing, but we're also preachers. So
that's true.
We'll throw some sermon content in there.
A little spiritual here and there. But yeah, had to figure that out.
But it's not easy.
And come to grips with that.
It's not easy.
Not easy, no.
Took
a while.
Most people think that I'm an extrovert.
Right.
This is something that most people don't realize about Todd Bishop.
Yes.
I'm actually an introvert.
This is a real pull back the curtain moment right here.
Most people don't, they think because, look you're in front of people. You speak to thousands of people. You greet everybody. You talk to everybody. I have had to learn to do that.
Yes.
I don't get energized having conversations with people. I get de-energized.
Right.
But I'm an introvert that has learned to be an extrovert.
Right.
You're a people pleaser
that
has learned to be a purpose pleaser.
That's actually a really good way to put it. Really good way to put it. I can be around people lots of times. A little bit less now. You get older, you get married, you have kids, you got to recharge different ways. But I can be around people. I can, let's go out to eat, let's do this, whatever.
He'll go out after church. The 11 o'clock run for ice cream. He's going with all the young adults.
I did that one time, I think.
That's not
in
true.
the last.
I don't know. Maybe
11 o'clock is where you got me there. But I will because it's a good time. It's fun. You're building people and you're just building a relationship. It's cool. But then you're right. If that's going to take away from, hey, we got something important the next day, or what, all that kind of stuff, then it's just not. It's not worth it anymore. Even down to different, family things, events, parties, holidays, different things that friends invite you to. All these, at some point, they're fun to be at, and some of them you need to be at. Right, you got to do it. But then there's other things that just, if it takes you away, or now you're exhausted because of it, or your time with your family is, that's where purpose over people kind of.
Yeah. So I'm an introvert that's learned to be an extrovert.
Right.
You're a people pleaser that's turning into a purpose pleaser.
Yeah.
And both of those collide when it comes to being liked.
Yes.
Because introverts still need to be liked.
Right.
I think more so. Because an extrovert will have hundreds and hundreds of friends.
That's a good point.
They can get their validation from. I don't have a ton of friends. I have a lot of acquaintances.
Yeah.
But when I talk about friendship, that gets very right and tight. It's smaller.
Yeah.
Because I've recognized I can't, because some people there's two types of people in the world. You've heard me say this a million times. Drainers and sustainers. The drainers, what do?
They suck the life out of you.
The sustainers.
They're building you up, support, all that.
And so you think about this. There are some people that ain't going to like you because they are purpose suckers.
Yes.
They suck the purpose out of you. If you're going to lead anything, you're not going to be liked by everybody.
Nope.
And the moment everybody likes you, you have to understand right away you're probably not leading the way you should lead, because that means you're making decisions that everybody likes versus what you're designed to do, what's right. I've had to make a lot of decisions that, Matt, a lot of people disagree with.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember when there was a building that was gifted to us years ago, the Babylon property. It was in Babylon. Go figure, Babylon. It was a church building. It was given to us. And the reason why it was given to us, I think, because it was a dump. It needed a ton of work. Now, obviously, it was a church. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but it was in disrepair.
Yeah,
That's probably a better way to say it.
Yeah.
Do you remember how much money we put into that building? Almost 200,
yeah,
right? 200 plus.
Yeah,
a couple $100,000 we put in the building. It needed another $500,000. We were trying to salvage it, get it up and running, try and get something going so money could be generated through gifts and offerings. And then It can grow. We just couldn't get off the ground. And so when that church approached me and said, would you take over the church? I didn't go to the board.
Nope.
I didn't go to the member. I don't even think I went to Mary at that time. I said, I'm in.
We're in. We got to do it.
And so I had people upset with me.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying, you should have came to us. Now, granted, the church was being given to us. That doesn't require a vote. Now, today I do things a lot differently.
Yeah.
Like, I was young and foolish, to be honest.
Well, everybody grows.
God blessed it,
Yeah.
but it was still young and foolish. Now today, it'd be a whole nother process. We're a bigger organization, greater voices, more input from people. But it was interesting, that decision that some people didn't like, because then the real reason people didn't like it wasn't that take a free building, everyone's going to say yes to that.
Right.
It was because my time was now stretched
Right.
from not just at the time our Hicksville location, but to another location. People were like, you're not here for us. We don't see you. All those things. That's why people didn't like it. Now, that building we had for, how long did we have that building? Do you remember? It wasn't more than 4 years.
I was going to say, yeah, 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4
is my
years.
guess, but
We hired a location pastor who's doing phenomenal
yeah,
right now.
outstanding.
Outstanding. Shout
Yeah.
out to Josh Sepulveda, doing an outstanding job with Steve Chandler over at, what is that, Union Church?
Union
right?
Church,
Union
yeah.
Church, doing a great job over there as one of their location pastors. I think we weren't ready for him, to be honest,
Yeah.
for a location pastor. I think today that situation would have been different, but shout out Josh. I love you. We ended up selling that building after 3 or 4 years
Yeah.
for I think it was $585,000. Was that?
I believe that's right.
$585,000. And that's how we bought our main broadcast location and started all the renovations.
Yeah. Right.
So what people didn't like actually became fruit for the potential
Yes.
move of God that he's doing today.
Right.
Not everyone's going to like everything you do. That's a good scenario that turned out well.
Right.
Then I've had some that honestly, they didn't like the decision and I was wrong with it. I have made some decisions as a leader, as a pastor, that I look back and say, that was just arrogance. That was me trying to prove, look at me, I can do it, I can prove that. And at the end of the day, I find anything that's done out of pride or pressure actually robs you of your purpose.
Yeah.
So I think when you make decisions, especially hard, we're in the people business.
Yes, we are.
If you're a doctor, you're in the people business. You're not in the
Right.
medical business, you're in the people business. If you sell a product, you're not in the product business or merchandise, you're in people business.
People.
Everything you do in business, in life, whether it's in ministry or in the marketplace, guess what? It's a people's business.
Yeah.
And you got to be okay with making sure not everybody's happy, but the right people are happy.
Right. People are happy.
Have you ever had a moment where you questioned a decision you made because it didn't make someone happy, but after processing, you're like, I think I made the right decision?
My initial reaction is, yeah, of course. I'm trying to think of examples of that, but let's think about this. There's had to have been times where, just sticking with the church philosophy, ministry wise, you either start something, cut something, do whatever. I think I'm thinking of ones that corporately we've made as a church. Like for instance, when we used to do First Fridays. Remember First Fridays?
Oh yeah. We'd have a
This is good one.
barbecue, right?
We had a big blowout. It was fun. We're outside eating.
Remember that time we had Curtis Park? We put up a stage
Yeah,
outside.
it was cool with
Hardly any
concert
lights
kind of in the
out
parking
there.
lot.
Like, we
Well,
were,
that was
it's not good.
That parking lot was also probably a little bigger than this room.
Yes,
but
that's true. That is true.
We're having so much fun. Everybody's coming out. Everybody loves it. And we decided to
Cut it.
We're gonna squash it. We're gonna cut it.
What does Ed Young say?
If it ain't broke, break it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, break it.
So
what do we do?
So we broke it. And sometimes
What happened?
we got some backlash for that. Nobody could understand why we're doing all this. And sometimes it's just because, not just to shake things up, but people get so enamored or married to one particular thing that sometimes you lose sight of the actual, you talk about purpose, right? Purpose versus people pleasing. So we say, we're going to cut that. We're going to focus on Sundays. Our biggest,
Why, let's explain the why. Why do we do it?
Our biggest draw for people who don't know Jesus is Sundays. Fridays was becoming just either people from other churches were getting invited to it or finding out about it coming, or it was just kind of our core, which is nice to do, but it was taken at the time, resources we didn't fully have that we could have devoted for Sundays. And we're saying, you know, we can reach more people, but also
people from our church that came on Friday didn't come on Sunday.
That's exactly right. So serving wise, right, in our teams, people, I'm tired. I came out Friday, so I can't really come out Sunday. And then people would, well, I attended on Friday. That was my church for the weekend. I'm not going to come Sunday. So it just took away, you know, from one of our 5 focuses, one of our main core focuses, things that we want to do. People didn't like it because they loved the Friday was about me. And we said, well, you know, it's like, and we all carried that decision. We talked about it as a team. We said, you know, this kind of makes sense. And then people would come to each of us in different ways and times, depending on relationship, and just, hey, why'd we do this? I don't understand it. I miss Friday. I want to go back to Friday. I can't believe, back when we did Friday, this. But do you understand the why behind the what? And sometimes people
let's
don't.
Talk about that. The why behind the what is so important, because doing something's one thing.
Yeah.
Understanding why you're doing it is so much more important.
Yeah.
And I probably, if we look back on that, we probably didn't communicate as clearly as we could have.
Yeah.
Today, that mechanism would be so much easier.
Yes.
People would understand more because,
right.
You know, failure is the womb of success.
100%.
And so when you fail, it's the incubator for, you know, being able to learn and process. Right. Like I said, I made mistakes as a leader. Any leader who says they haven't made mistakes, they're lying.
All the time.
It's like every week.
All the time we're making mistakes. You know,
I have a lot of grace for public speakers because every week I slip up and say something.
Yeah.
And
even in the, you know, doing like a welcome or a offering or all this kind of things, you get 3 minutes, you get 5 minutes, you know, depending on the service. Sometimes you slip up and you come down. I'm like, whoops. But it is what it is. You know, sometimes
things happen. The why behind the what is so important because if people understand why you're doing it, they may not always agree with what you're doing,
right?
But they'll understand why you're doing it.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of people that knee jerk, and that's why people don't like them.
Yeah.
If you knee jerk, you typically end up becoming a jerk.
Mm.
So what you have to end up doing is recognize that slow decisions are okay.
Yeah.
Now, not every decision should be slow.
Not every decision
should be
can
able
be
to.
slow.
So remember a couple years ago when I was saying, you know, I've always been a strategic thinker, and I have the boom, boom, everything's like laid out. Here's what we're doing. Here's what's happening. This, boom, boom, boom. And then what did I say I was shifting to?
Yeah. So we're moving from being strategic to opportunistic.
Yeah.
Because there's just times where opportunity comes, and especially, again, spiritually speaking, God will open up doors and opportunities will come. But if we're doesn't fit in our strategy, what happened to the God opportunity? So
I'd like to take a minute right now to give a shout out to our sponsor, Psycho Preacher. Okay, that's it.
That was good. That's a nice little sponsor.
I just threw that in there.
That's a nice sponsor.
By the way, I am starting this thing, Psycho Preacher.
That's pretty dope.
And psychopreacher.com, the website is up. There's nothing there yet, but get ready. There's some merch coming.
Ooh.
Purpose is coming.
Let's go.
It's going to be pretty aggressive. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, what were we talking about?
I don't know. Something very important.
You know, most people on their podcast, you know what they do?
What's that?
They cut that part. That's recorded in another block. Not us.
That's not how the Toddcast works.
No, ignore all the others. This is the one that matters the most.
Why behind the what? Was that it?
Yeah, that was it. Why behind the what? So, like, there's things that we all do that people don't like, but if we're rude about it, that's when they don't like us. Like, I don't think you're going to move everyone to the mountain. Like Craig Rochelle says, we never say the people won't do it.
Yeah.
We say we haven't led them to it.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's true and not true.
Right.
Some people don't want to be led. They want to lead. And if you want to lead, you got to go start your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be led, you may eventually lead, but if you can't be led, you'll never really lead.
Yeah. Without it.
Did that make sense?
Yes.
I felt like I was led.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And you have to be able to lead underneath leadership. It's a lost art these days. So if you can't lead underneath leadership, then when you're the leader, if you ever aspire to that, that's what you're going to do, then people under your leadership won't be able to be led.
100%. 100%.
Did I led that the right way?
You did. I think we led,
lead.
I don't want to say anything else because it might just come out.
Yep.
I don't know what it would come out like.
Yep.
All right, so you're not always going to be liked as a leader.
Right.
Okay. So what do you think are a couple things that you could do to limit people not liking you, getting mad at you, getting people are gonna get frustrated. People don't like change.
Right.
I don't like change. The only change I like is the change I make.
True.
Put that down. The only change you'll ever like is the change you make.
The change you make.
That was so good. I didn't plan it. You got to understand, this is totally unscripted.
That was opportunistic versus strategic.
We honestly did not even know what we're talking about till we walked in. That's how opportunistic this is.
Hit the button, and we just started going.
Record Isaac, and we roll.
Isaac,
That's
bam.
how we roll.
3,
Okay.
2, 1.
So,
Okay.
opportunistic, strategic. Let's shift back to that for a second.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this, and I'm going to work on some leadership thing about this. Everybody loves to talk about certain people in the Bible that were great leaders. The one that you don't usually hear about as a great leader is Abraham.
This is a good concept.
It's very interesting because Abraham, the Bible says, was looking for a city, didn't know where he was going.
No idea.
He was just leaning in and listening. What was that about? Opportunity.
Opportunity.
Didn't necessarily have a strong strategy. It was like the Bible says you look for a city whose builder and maker is God, even though he did not know.
Right.
Where's this going to be? He was just trusting that God was going to lead him in the right opportunity.
Yep.
And I think some people are looking for everything A, B, C, D, all the way to X, Y, Z when they haven't even walked through a door of opportunity God put in front of them.
Right.
So I think like leaders that are opportunistic, I do think are often not liked as much because they're looking for opportunity, knowing that opportunity is actually going to move the organization, the business forward. And people get frustrated because I gotta be part of the change. I need to know what's happening.
Right.
Here's what I've learned. Not every employee needs to know what's happening. You may not, well, you know what's happening, but you may not know the why.
Or every detail.
Or the details, or everything's spelled out. There's some things that are just, it's an expression above your pay grade.
Right.
Some things are just above people's pay grades.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah, and be okay with that. The whole world through social media has caused us to be in everyone else's world versus our own.
Yes.
We want to enjoy everybody else's world, not our own. Okay, back to the question now. Sorry, I had to go back to strategic, opportunistic Abraham.
No, that was good.
What are some things we could do to
to limit.
hated less
Yeah.
as we're leading growing businesses, organizations, nonprofit, churches?
Well, communication's key. The more you communicate, the better it's going to be because then you build rapport. So I think relationship with people is important because if you can build that relationship with people, then you have an easier time. Like if we never talk and all of a sudden you have an idea and you come to me and say, well, I don't really get it. But we talk
almost every day.
all the time.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Even on days off, we'll talk.
Yeah. And I understand your heart and your thinking and all those things. So the same is true with
By the way, it's not all business we talk. We talk life.
Right. All kinds
I
of
don't
things.
think all we do is we're workaholics. True, but we don't want to say that.
Right. Sports, life. Okay. So, but same is true with our teams.
Hey, pause. You just brought up sports, bro. I'm just coming off a major 49ers loss this year in the playoffs.
I almost said Niners, but I didn't want to actually.
Shout out to Ricky Pearsall, Brock Purdy, my boy George Kittle.
We'll see
everybody over
MC.
there. Fred Warner.
Fantasy
I love
winner.
you guys. Get well quick.
Coming back next
Okay.
year, strong. The Jets, never mind. All right. So, so you talk about opportunity, strategic. Anyways.
They don't have either one of those.
No, we're just there. So, yes. So if you build that rapport with teams, right? Same is true with teams.
That's my ADD
The more you,
coming in,
we capture the anointing. So, the more you talk, the more we talk with our teams, the more they understand who we are, how we operate. So now, we're at the point now. It's taken years, right? We're at the point now where opportunity comes. We could talk to people who've been at the church 10 years or 10 days, and they kind of have an idea, okay, hey, this is an opportunity that's showing up. How are we going to flesh it out? I don't know. But it seems like it might be something that's right. All right, we trust you. Let's just do it. How can I help? How can we figure it out? So all those different, just conversations and kind of being in the trenches with people, hanging out in good times and bad times, and honestly, time and experience. Like everybody's been through, even the lobby project. Oh, when is this going to be done? How are we doing this? Oh, maybe we should have thought about, well, yeah, but okay. And then it's going to look great in the end. I trust you guys, it's going to be awesome. But if you don't have any in that relationship with anybody, if we didn't have relationship people, then at the end of the day, people it's a lot more of this because nobody understands who you already are. When
Yeah,
people understand who you already are,
the
then
stronger your
a
relationship,
little
the
easier.
better the communication.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people think like they have a perception of me because I'm a very direct speaker, preacher, and I'm very direct with like how I feel, that I don't collaborate. And so people, because of how I talk, they feel like they might not like me because of that. But you've worked with me now 20 plus years, 25 plus years.
25 plus.
So like, do you have any like, does that frustrate you at all when people assume how?
Yeah, it does. I don't like when anybody assumes, well, you know what happens when you assume. Don't assume people. But
Beep.
Right. But when people assume that about you, I just say, well, I don't think you know them. I don't really think you know them then. Because in reality, we have, just take a Tuesday. There's like 4 meetings that we have with different groups of people because we collab on stuff and make decisions. We have different group chats. What do you guys think?
Wait, how many meetings do I walk out of and go do something else? Well, you guys.
That's true, actually.
And then I come in and say,
we'll start
what?
the meeting.
What I'll say?
What do we decide?
What do we decide? I don't know.
I'm like, well, we're going to do this. And all right, sounds good. And then if it's something that's blatantly out of the, well, maybe we should pull back for this reason. Because the other thing people don't understand is that he and Pastor Mary have more information than everybody else in the church, right? So if they make
about the church.
About the church. Not, I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, more information than anyone.
God gives us all wisdom.
You never know. But sometimes decisions are also made just because, and you don't understand them because you don't have all the information. But yeah, so we'll do that. We'll have meetings. We'll collab on different things. We have creative team meetings. You have all these kind of things. Sometimes you'll set kind of a course, where, hey, this is the goals. How do we want to get there? What do you think is going to work? Is this going to work? Is this going to work? Can we do this? Can we pull this off? Do we have the dream team or the volunteers to make this happen? Is this going to tax the staff too much? What do you think about doing that? There's so many conversations and questions. And then it goes both ways and all ways. We have different chats that just, hey, what do you think about this? I think we should try this. And we just go back and forth.
Same thing. So you can't communicate without relationships. So communication is a
Huge.
big key. The other one is understanding.
Big time.
If people understand, they're less likely to get mad at leaders.
Yes.
So Stephen Covey, in his book, Habits of Highly Effective People, right, said, seek to understand before being understood.
Right.
The problem with that is our whole culture is exactly the opposite.
Opposite.
Understand me. I don't need to understand you.
Right. So
you need to understand my perspective. When I go into a conversation with Matt, I'm going in, I want to understand you.
Yeah.
He should be coming in, I want to understand Todd.
Without a doubt.
If Todd and Matt come together and both trying to understand each other, it's going to be a much easier conversation.
Right.
Same with my wife or your wife, Gina.
Right.
If I go home, Mary, I go in, you got to understand. How do I say that? You want to understand, Mary, what?
Yeah.
It's not going to be good. My wife's a
not
Puerto Rican girl from Queens.
Not going to work.
She'll beat me.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
You're going to dinner by yourself.
Yes. Yeah. It's not going to be a good night.
No.
Gina, same way?
Yeah, she's got that Italian flair, so it's all the same deal. So you got to understand. But we use that even in like premarital discussions and stuff.
Yeah.
If you're not seeking to be understood, then your relationship's never going to go anywhere. So the same is true with leading. If you're not seeking to, I was listening to the Maxwell Leadership podcast. Shout out John Maxwell.
The OG of leadership.
I mean, the guru.
He opened up for me one time.
That's true.
He opened up for me. That's crazy.
Did you know that? John Maxwell
International
opened
television.
Up.
International television.
That's right.
It's the first time I met him.
That's right.
He actually started, the show. It was an interview thing. I came up after him, and the host, Frank Santora, ends up saying, he asked me a question. I said, I don't know. I feel so good, man. I never thought the guy would take this little boy from Buffalo, New York, and now John Maxwell's opening up for me. Frank Santora's response, sure, John Maxwell's opening up for you. The real part of the story was that was the only time he could give them. But my time was,
that's right.
He opened up for me.
That's right. And that's our story, and we're sticking to it.
We're sticking to it, except now we just
kind of gave you the story. But rewind. So he's talking about empowering leaders and how you have to allow people, and you got to, if you understand them and they understand you, then you can empower people better, and you'll kind of go back and forth in the whole thing, and then it builds the trust and yada yada. So if we're not doing all that, then kind of gets us back to the whole no one's going to understand, then there's going to be this constant tension. But then when we're empowering and we're helping people, we're not just dictating, which we don't do. It's not how we roll. We're collaborative, all that stuff. Then it just builds team, and it builds unity, and it builds like we can do this, and all that kind of stuff. So
so we got communication as a way to keep people from being mad at you as much, understanding each other. Anything else you could think of that, because I mean, you're not gonna be liked by everyone. What's one of our Unleashed values? Part of our code says we're for everyone.
Yeah.
But we're not for everyone.
But we're not for everyone.
In other words, we're for, we'd love, but not everyone's
100%.
going to gel with who we are, what we're feeling, our vibe, and what we're supposed to do.
Right.
Like, I think one of the things that helps us, obviously communication, understanding, relationship, we're talking about. I also think like people knowing their role.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like, I know my role as the president, CEO of our church organization. I know what my role is.
Mm-hmm.
I know very clearly what it is. I know what it is not.
Yeah.
I know my primary function now is preaching, teaching, casting vision.
Yep.
Fundraising. That's probably sum it up there. I don't really get involved in a lot of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People come to, hey, what about this? I have no idea. Let me find somebody. Because I really don't know. I know generally certain things about how we operate, especially with Dream Team.
Right.
I don't really know all the ins and outs of that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Our organization's too big for that.
Right.
But I think sometimes people just, they don't know their role and they get frustrated because I'm supposed to know. I got the gift of this. No, you don't have to know. And I think if people know their role, I think business, you can work at McDonald's. Everybody knows their role is good.
It's going to work out.
You can work at Starbucks. Everybody knows. You probably work at Starbucks. You get good insurance, all this stuff.
Right.
You can work at a church if you know your role. Everything's going to be good. You can attend a church, be part of this, whatever. Go down the list of everything. When you know your role, there's less frustration in that.
Yeah, 100%. The problem a lot of times is that people always fight for where we opened. They'll fight for the top spot or wanting to know information that's, quote unquote privileged or whatever the case. But when people just know like, hey, I'm here to seat people tonight. That's all I'm going to do. But I'm going to be the best seater that I could possibly be. I want people to feel super welcome when they come in. I want to escort them. I want to say, hey, we're going to have an awesome night. So glad you're here at service today. We just did our job. We helped set the tone for what God wants to do for that night. But if that person says, you know what, I'm going to give a mini sermon to this person on the way in, you're stepping out of your zone, you're stepping out of line, then you're kind of, then it's just confusion because it's not going to line up. So it's just an example of when we live in where we're supposed to be, we're called to be, then good things happen. But then,
it's interesting. At the time of this recording last night, we had a movie premiere at our church, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
I Can Only Imagine 2, sponsored by I Can Only Imagine 2. Just kidding, we're not. But great movie. Incredible movie. Ephraim, he works for Lionsgate.
Lionsgate, yeah.
He is the Hispanic representative to nonprofits, I believe. Something like that is his title.
Yeah, it's cool.
Comes up to me. I literally say to him, I say, hey, E, I'm just going to sit in the back. I got to finish up a couple things. I'm here to show support, blah, blah. He said, oh, thank you, Pastor. Blah, blah. I sit down. The movie starts. It brings you right in.
That's cool.
I didn't even open my bag.
That's awesome.
It's such a great movie. But just before I go to sit down, he goes, hey, by the way, I'm going to have you at the end lead everyone in prayer.
Wow.
I said, oh, okay. Now, here's what I know. I'm the pastor. But I'm also willing to be led.
Mm-hmm.
So what was I doing at that point? I was saying, hey, we're hosting the event.
Right.
You're kind of in charge.
Right.
And if that's what you're asking me to do, I know my role is to walk up there. I'm telling you, this movie, you got to see it. I don't want to give anything away, but we prayed over people to be healed at the end of the movie. Really powerful because the story is about that.
That's awesome.
Don't want to give anything else more away. But I think I knew my role in that moment. I'm not the senior pastor.
Yeah.
I'm not the leader. I'm here under someone else who's using our facility for something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Well, because there's also different roles in different environments and different atmospheres. So right here, right now, you are the pastor, president, CEO, however you want to look at it. But if you go to a conference or you're asked to speak at another church, right?
I'm
like that goes for we're there to serve, right? So if you can't just walk in there and be like, "Hey guys, I'm making all the decisions. I'm taking over." That's not going to go
We've
very
had
well.
people try and do that when they come here.
That is true.
Yeah,
that's true. But then do they
we
get
have members try and do that when they come?
Do they get invited back The
Never.
guests, the guests.
No. I'll say this. This is very interesting. I have a rule, okay? I give everybody a clock. Now I'm a little more flexible with that. But I used to have this rule. You got an allotted time. You go over that allotted time, you're never coming back. And I think I stuck to that for everybody.
Yeah.
You go over that time, you're not getting big. Why? Because you got to honor the house.
Yes.
We have rules here. We have structure here. We have system. We paid some prices that y'all didn't pay.
Right.
You know? That's one thing I love about you, though. You know your role. You've gotten more comfortable in getting rid of the people pleasing.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all have shades of that. Everybody does.
Yeah.
You know, but you don't have to be the guy. And I think that's what makes you such a value to Mary and I, is because your value is, man, I lead really well where I'm at right now. And talk to that for a second, because a lot of people there, I want to be a pastor. You should be a pastor, or people are senior pastor, or somebody, man, you should be the CEO of that company, or you should be the president of that organization. Sure. But yet you shine where you're at. What happens if you get into a spot that you're not wired to do? Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, I think success kind of stops when you try to climb above where you're called to be.
That's good.
You know, so if I'm called to be, so my wife and I, Gina and I, both know for a fact that we're called to, yes, be pastors, but we're also called to you guys as a family, as a church, as leaders,
and vice versa.
Yeah, and which is cool. It's become an incredible relationship and all that partnership work, the whole thing. But if I were to, so here's the thing. I think I have I don't know if it's unique or not, whatever. And it's not a toot horn thing. I wish more kind of saw things this way. But like there is a big value to being a trusted support system that I don't think many people see. And everyone just thinks everything in life is a stepping stone. But not everything in life is a stepping stone. Like if you just succeed really well where you're called to be, God will elevate you within the structure of all the things until, you know, like.
And that has happened.
As high as possible. Yeah.
Like you started, what was your first position?
Well, I came
Children?
on to youth. I came on youth to start the youth program.
We paid you nothing, right?
No, that was full on follow. Free 99, everybody. Free 99.
So you came from zero to where you're at today.
Yeah.
Now, how do you, like, how many years is it? 12 or 13?
Yeah, this is my 13th full-time year.
13th full-time year. So when you think about 13 full-time years,
yeah,
would you ever imagine you'd be where you are financially, positionally?
No. And I think people take all those things for granted. So it's the whole
They want
grass.
it quick.
Yeah. And it's the whole grass is greener on the other side thing until you.
What do we say?
You look over and you realize it's spray painted, or it's turf, or it's it's whatever it is. So
more people get injured on AstroTurf.
That's exactly right. We need that real grass back. But yeah, you can do. So there's a myth that like you'll never do well, or you'll never do as well as you can unless you're the top person, unless you're out on your own, unless you're doing whatever, blah, 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 you're running things. But that's not true. Like if you're with people who you know take care of you, and you're in a great company, great organization, great church, you can do just as well, sometimes if not better, because you know that there's something. Then the other part of this whole thing is that I know, being in proximity, what it takes to be a lead pastor. From you, Pastor Mary, and your family. There's a lot of sacrifice your kids make that nobody will ever know about. It's all kinds of things. So there's a lot that goes into that. So we see the value in being there for, you guys, your kids, whatever. And that's just, I don't know, there's something that we value that I think more people should value, because it's not a downgrade or a demotion. It's you're just excelling where God's called you to be.
Listen, I do know this. I know what the average pastor on Long Island makes.
Yeah.
You do better.
Yeah. Which is super humbling. And
because everybody's always, if I do this, I could at some point know your role.
Right.
And I've seen guys that were great associate pastors, assistants, vice presidents. They go into that next role, tank it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know their role. They thought, man, I want this, because our culture has taught people rise higher, climb harder, be the guy, be the man, be the woman, be the person. When no, be you.
Right.
The best thing you could do for anybody is be you.
Yeah.
And so if people don't like that, they're going to get mad at that.
Right.
Like me or hate me, I am what I am.
Yeah.
Was that Popeye you said? I am what I am. I think it was Popeye.
I think
like,
you're right.
I am what I am. I had a conversation with somebody earlier before we jumped on here, and I was like, man, I was agitated. I said exactly what I thought, because I said to this person, I said, you know me, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think.
Right.
And I had a very direct conversation. I'm okay with those.
Right.
And if you know me, you know I'm not having that direct conversation because I want to hurt you.
Yeah.
Having that direct conversation because I want you to understand exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of people today, they get mad at leaders because they think they deserve to be the leader when they've done nothing, and they don't lead anything currently, but they know more than what the leader knows. So you have that. If you work at a bank, the bank teller is going to tell the branch manager exactly what. They don't know what it takes to be a branch manager, or else they'd be a branch manager.
Right.
The president of a college.
Right.
We work at a college campus, volunteer at a college campus. Yeah. But we understand. Now, I don't understand what the doctor goes through as the president of that campus. Mm-hmm. I hear the complaints about what they don't do, but I don't know the pressure that position. So I got to be cautious with that.
It's also a wider scale.
Know your role.
Like, she's got oversight of an entire campus, and every single person reports it, all this kind of stuff. It's the same. We talk about, again, going back to sports. We talked about this, I think, even on the last one. You have an offensive coordinator in football. You have a defensive coordinator. Some of them are unbelievably good at what they do. Then they think, because this is what we're told, if you're good at being a coordinator, you'll become a head coach. You got to get your shot. Got to take your shot.
We talked to Saleh for a minute with the 49ers, man.
Just stay there, man.
Stay in San Francisco, man. Lock in. Don't leave. But by the time this is broadcast, he's probably taking a head coaching job.
You probably are. See you
and I'll tell you,
see you in Tennessee.
If it doesn't go the way you think, I'm going to email you and say, I told you so.
I'll send you a link to this. We'll timestamp it.
Yes.
But much respect. But
love the guy. He's a great defensive coordinator.
Great. But you see all these, you weren't the Jets problem, by the way. Anyways.
No, you were not. The Jets are the Jets problem.
Yeah. But a lot of people do. You see it all the time. Now, there's a few that are work. Ben Johnson with the Bears, whatever, who cares? This isn't a sports podcast. But you see it work sometimes. But a lot of times it's not, because you're out of your breath almost. It's like, I didn't realize, everyone said, I didn't realize all the decisions. You have to think of everything on the field. You have to know everything about personnel. You're talking to the GM now. You're not doing that as a coordinator. There's so many different things that are happening, ownership. So anyway, it's that same idea. If you can thrive and be one of the best coordinators in the league, or you can try to be a head coach and be one of the worst and lose your job in a year, to me, it just doesn't make sense.
Saleh. That's for you. It's a word. All right, last thing I was thinking.
Last one.
Communication, understanding, know your role. Then the last, if we can limit the upset people get with leaders, grace.
Grace, yes.
Grace is something everybody needs.
Everybody needs.
But nobody wants to give.
Right.
We want grace when we blow it, when we make a mistake, when, we forget to tell our wives something. And it's like Mary always say, so-and-so had a baby. Oh, what was it? A baby.
How big was it?
Normal?
I don't know. What other questions do you ask?
Color of the eye? I don't know.
What day was it born? It was born.
I don't know the eye. What day? What time was it? Recently.
I think everyone's healthy. That's the main goal.
That's right. Ultimately.
That's how we
normal baby.
Guys.
Healthy. Right? Like, that could be frustrating even for leaders and followers when communication is not clear, and that's why you need grace.
Yes, grace.
And our society today doesn't give grace. No. I'll be honest, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better at giving grace. I think I'm pretty gracious to a point.
Yeah.
And then grace
rightfully
says,
so.
no, now you're treating me as a doormat. That's not grace.
Nope.
And so I think grace, and that's one thing I think, if we can just land the plane there, if leaders lead with grace,
yes,
followers live with grace,
yes, that's really good.
Man, there will be a lot less problems in leadership.
Yes.
It's grace. I mean, it's the meteorologist. Grace when they're wrong.
Got to give grace.
When you disagree with someone's politics, grace.
Grace.
when you get hurt by someone that didn't intend to hurt you, but
Right.
it was a misspeak. Grace.
Yeah. Grace to know even people have bad days. Like sometimes we make decisions on days that we're not feeling it.
Yeah.
You're having a rough day, or your brain is somewhere else, or other things are happening. You're having personal, I don't know, whatever. You just don't feel good. You just have grace for stuff. And I'm happy you brought up grace, because I almost brought up grace before. And it's interesting how you can give someone tons of grace, and then when it's their turn to give grace, they still refuse to give grace for some reason. And that's the part that frustrates me the most. And it's also something that we all are kind of working on, because no one's going to be perfect with it. But then when we expect our people to be perfect, that's our people. Volunteers, people we work with, people even in our families, people you're around. You expect people to be perfect. That's when all the problems come. When you lead with grace, everyone else lives with grace. It's a good marriage.
That was good. Lead with grace, live with. Did you say that, or did I say that?
You did, actually. I just repeated it.
I was like,
it was
wow,
so
was
good that when
like,
I repeated
wait,
it, when you lead with grace, then everyone else lives with grace.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That was good.
That was good, wasn't it?
Isaac, was that good? Give me a thumbs up.
That was a mind meld.
Wow. Grace. Oh my gosh. All right. This was great.
It was great.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on again.
I'm glad you came back on.
Absolutely honored.
Thanks for joining us today at this podcast. There's a couple things I want to ask you to do. I want to ask you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, comment below, and maybe out of those four?
Yeah, 4 main points.
4 main things we gave today. Maybe you drop which one you need work with, and we're gonna add you to our prayer list. And then make sure you continue to share this content with people, because ultimately we know that the only way to get better is to get the right information, build the right relationships, and that's what we hope the Toddcast does for you. So here's what I'm asking you to do, Toddcasters. I am asking you to be faithful, be loyal, be consistent, and make the Toddcast your every week share to somebody else, and make sure you absorb the content. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks to my special guest, Matt Balomo, for being a great friend, a great leader, and someone who exemplifies leading with grace so people can live with grace. Until next time, ignore all the others.